Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 4 of the MIU, also known as Mortgage Intelligently University. I'm here with Amir Garami, and we are going to talk about mortgage limits and loan limits today. Last week, we talked about the conforming and the high balance limits that the FHFA has changed and will be changing for 2022. Today, we're going to be talking about loan limits for our MCF exclusive portfolio program. So without further ado, Amir, please tell us about our loan limits on these portfolio programs.
Hey, Ray, thanks so much. So guys, as Ray mentioned last week, we did talk about conventional loan limits, and we thought it was this video was ideal that we dovetail into what we covered last week. So last week we covered conventional loan limits and how they're determined. But when it comes to non-qualified mortgages, the non-QM loans, the loans that we've been discussing in the first few videos we did, which are stated income loans of that nature, there are no government agencies determining loan limits. So although we do have loan limits for us internally, we don't do loans of less than 150,000, and we generally stay around the 4 million max loan amount. There are really no loan limits. How does that affect you as a consumer? Okay. Well, let's discuss. The only way I could describe the difference to you is to compare and contrast with conventional loans. On a conventional loan, depending on what your loan amount is, there's imposed debt to income ratios, where if your income does not meet your debts at a certain level, you do not qualify. Okay, we treat whether you're getting a $4 million loan or a $150,000 loan, the debt to income ratio is the same. So you're not limited on the size of your loan because your debt to income does not fit into that government matrix. Now, we have a fast rule that says your debt to income can't be more than 50 DTI. That's correct, right, Ray? Just to recheck with you.
Right, that's right.
Okay, so our loan limit at $4 million has a 50% DTI, where let's say if you went to a local bank and got a qualified mortgage at $4 million, the debt to income would be limited anywhere from 41 to 43%. So these non-QM loans—
Amir, really quick, sometimes even as low as 33% for some lenders.
Absolutely, yes, that is correct. So the non-QM loans, because there's no loan limit, we're able to tailor our products and allow the same kind of ratios that would be given on our very low loan limits to borrowers that are taking enormous loans out. So that's one of the biggest benefits. Again, no loan limits. How else does this play out? Imagine on a refinance, loan limits always come in because borrowers are concerned on a cash out. Hey, am I taking too much out? How is it going to be treated? Is my balance going over my existing principal balance with my new loan? And it's all treated the same. Since we're not following any government set, agency set rules, our loan limits, whether it's a refinance where you're just changing your rate and term or taking a cash out, they're both treated the same. So what I would say is, the loan limits allow everyone to be treated the same in terms of debt to income ratio and in terms of rate when it comes to cash outs versus non-cash out refinances.
Awesome info, Amir. Thanks for sharing that. So 150,000 you mentioned is on the low side. $150,000 is on the low side, the minimum loan amount that we'll do. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then
we will.
On the high side, I was just going to say, on the high side, it's 4 million.
That's correct. So we do go up to 4 million. We'll go above that on a case-by-case basis, but we do generally 4 million is the top range.
And on a 4 million loan amount, Amir, what's the typical down payment? So meaning, I'm trying to find out, or let our viewers know, what would the sales price be? So if someone buys something that doesn't mean they're buying it for 4 million. That's the max loan amount, right? So they could buy something for 6 million, 7 million, and what have you, right?
Sure.
And just the loan amount would be capped at 4 million on these programs. Is that right?
Yeah. So look, it really depends on your credit score. It depends on the type of property, and it depends on just your available reserves and things of that nature.
Cash on
But
hand.
cash on hand.
Okay.
And I think I missed it, but if not, let me repeat myself. Credit score. Okay.
You mentioned it a couple
So
of times.
I meant it's
That's
very
how important
important.
it is.
That's the point. So it ranges. It could be 25 is usually the minimum. When you go above that $1 million marker, we require 25% down.
Okay.
And when you hit 3, there's some adjustments, but yeah, we're looking at roughly 25 to 30% down.
That's excellent. So, I mean, essentially someone could purchase a property for 5.5 million and only really put down 25 to 30%, take a loan amount of 4 million out. And
That's
we'll be able to
correct.
get something like that done if their credit score.
If their
Right?
credit score,
Meets
right?
that
If they
criteria.
have the reserves, if they
Yeah.
have reserves, if they have the credit score, things of that nature.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Amir, for the input. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for episode 4 of the MIU for this week. Tune in on Monday for our MIDD, which is our Mortgage Intelligently Deal Desk. Well, we'll actually talk about a specific scenario that we went through for this type of program. Have a great weekend,
All right,
everyone.
guys. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.